Hi, guys, and good evening. I am so excited this evening as today marks 2 years since the Enlightenment Podcast first began. I am super stoked about sharing a recap tonight about what 2021 looked like and the amazing guest and conversations people that we connected with. It is our last show of the season too for 2021. And next year in 2022, we have a lot of exciting ideas and plans in store for you and for our amazing guest who will be joining us in 2022. When I first started the Enlightenment Podcast, I started with the amazing and beautiful Lise Cherry. And she is a dear friend of mine who I've been so inspired by for quite a long time, from her heart to her powerful story to her energy and just the way that she carried herself in resilience. How often we don't see how amazing we truly are, and how even in the darkest moments, we are a light to those around us. And that is why I wanted to start the Enlightenment Podcast, is to talk about art and creativity, play, wonder, the struggles that we all go through in life, but the joy and the triumph, as it's just this beautiful kaleidoscope and mix of emotions and feelings and experiences. And every Monday, as I've had a guest come on the Enlightenment Podcast, I leave inspired, uplifted, and my well is filled from every conversation that I've had, with every laugh that I have shared with them, with every tear that we have held with each other. Every time I sit and hear them open up their heart and their stories, and they're vulnerable and raw and real, I know that it's inspired me and it's inspired you. Thank you for celebrating with me and being a part of this journey with the Enlightenment Podcast, with Authors on Air Global Radio Network, and with every guest that has come bravely on the show to share their stories. Thank you, Tammy and Christian, for being here. I really appreciate you both. Thank you. Love you, Tammy. Thank you so much, Christian. I appreciate you both so much. You've been lights in my life as well, in multiple layers and for multiple different reasons. I would love to share with you a recap of the guest, conversations, and the highlights of the Enlightenment Podcast 2021. Enjoy.
Because you love it. You have to love it. That has to be the number one reason why you are writing. Don't write for any other reason. That's it. Write the stories that you want to write because you love to write those stories.
When I teach writing is to try to help people to drop the idea that anything has to be good to start with. To me, it's all about process and
realize you went through pain for a purpose. When you realize that God had a plan the whole entire time, it comes to a place of surrendering equals freedom.
Because it's more difficult to be who you are, it's more important in this time to let people in on your universe.
With intricate designs that tell their own story, The things within are all that remain of a life lived. When I peek inside, her possessions remind me of holidays spent sleeping on a mattress on the floor at the end of her bed.
My biggest thing is to not give up.
You're better. Don't focus on being completely healed straight away.
And comforting, and somebody to be there to let them know that it's okay, that this mourning process is okay, because a lot of people think it's completely irrational, the way that they're feeling, the anger, the hurt, you're
thing that I would like you to take away from listening to us today is the aspect that, mental health, post-traumatic stress, all of those things do not need to be a journey on their own.
Whatever method you have that's working for you, if it's working for you, keep doing it. Don't worry about what somebody else is doing. Don't worry about comparing how fast someone else gets signed or gets through a book deal or how quickly their sales are happening. Figure out what works for you.
It's always good to remember we should never put it on them. Our feelings are our own, and we own them. And it's never the kid's fault that you're feeling some way. Now, I would like to say is that you got this, and you are awesome, and you have everything that you need inside you.
Yourself as a writer, don't listen to those doubt weasels, please. Your story needs to be told, and that
the stars go away. You can't always see them. The moon is ever present. So something that is always visible has to be, for me, something that is significant.
Say this: be kind to yourself. Until you're kind to yourself, you can't be kind to others. And it's taken me many years to learn that. No matter what you pursue, please don't quit. Don't.
Through to me is that we all need to do a better job of keeping love in our hearts and always operate from a position of love.
I would say, if I have to improve upon the silence, that it's okay to be unfinished.
If you are frustrated in your writing journey, you just need to self-examine and say, wow, what is not working for me? Do I not?
Every book that I land, because it reinforces that I've got the skills, and even though I'm not what I once was and I never will be, I'm a new person and I've got the ability to do this.
I can sleep now, but that's a good sign, because if I've written something that scared me that much, hopefully it's going to scare a reader or resonate with a reader in the same way.
The thing that was the most impactful for me to realize was sort of going hand in hand with that lean in and get weird is figure out who you are and, allow that to change.
I'm gonna say tomorrow's a new day. You can always create more. So don't put pressure on yourself.
life is hard enough. Don't add unnecessary pressure. Approach creativity in ways that feel organic to you, that feel welcoming.
The best advice I can give anybody going through that is to please look into what resources are in your area, because I think the best thing anyone that is coping with dementia and a loved one can do is be in a support group.
So it's really reminding yourself what it is that you love to do.
When we can write like we're sitting in our closet with a flashlight and a notebook writing secret stuff, I find that it just goes a lot better. You're more authentic, you're more audacious, you're having fun.
Find self-love and figure out what that looks like for you and start today. Quit putting it off. Stop making excuses, because once you get started and you see what it looks like, then you'll be able to keep going. You'll have
just embrace that you're a storyteller above all, and tell a story first and foremost.
If you find that you're really, really busy all the time, even if you can give yourself 5 or 10 minutes a day just delving into your craft, you will love it.
Different aspects of life is that you have to lose something to know that was a gift.
I would say get quiet enough to hear your real self. For me, joy evaporates when I give over my voice and the voice of my true, authentic self to any kind of outside expectation.
I think the most important part of enjoying a simple life is really staying present.
Choose fun and interesting over work.
Day at a time, and don't let anybody take your joy.
Narrow it down to what are you either going to love to do most, or a fabulous project you can tackle, but don't take on all the ideas.
Get into such ruts, and if we really look at it, we can figure out different ways to do things that really inspire creativity.
Don't take anything for granted. Your voice is a vibration, and it's the words that you speak are powerful.
The advice I would give every listener is, number one, to reconnect with your inner child. I'll give a plug for Lori there. Get back to your belief that anything is possible.
I am so grateful for every single moment that I have shared with each one of you, whether you have been a guest, whether you have been watching, whether you've been commenting. I feel your love, energy, and support, and so does each and every guest that come on. I am 100% rooting for you and your dreams. Follow your heart, follow your passions, find what makes you feel joyous, regardless of what anyone else thinks that you should do. Find what makes your heart just warm and excited and filled and full, because it's your journey and you get to create whatever you want to create and have the path that you would like to take. Happy anniversary, the Enlightenment Podcast. Next year for 2022, you're going to be seeing a lot more of this. The beautiful stories of triumph, of struggle, of play, creativity, art. You're going to see a lot more conversation about memoirs and nonfiction authors that will be on the Enlightenment Podcast, as well as business owners, as well as inventors and creators, scientists. We're going to explore all aspects of what brings joy, true joy to people's lives, and hear their stories. And another fun and exciting thing, we're adding a sister show that's going to be a YouTube channel called Does This Food Enlighten Me? For anyone who's watched any of the Enlightenment podcast, I always ask the same question at the very end of each guest. And I ask, what is the oddest food combo that you've liked and tried, or you've just tried? And as you can imagine, we have gotten so many different so many different ideas and meals and inventions, and I'm excited to explore these different appetites and different kaleidoscope of colors and taste. My 10-year-old boy is going to be joining me on this show that's going to air and start on a YouTube channel in mid-January. So come on over, find us over there, see what foods we're going to try, what we're up to, and we're going to have a few special guests on the show as well. So we'll see how our stomachs hold, what surprises us on the meals that we have chosen from what the guests have recommended that they've tried that was super weird. Some they've really loved and some they didn't like at all. So it's going to be really exciting. My 10-year-old is thrilled to be joining me, as he really likes food and so does his mama. So it's going to be a really fun time. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. Thank you goes to Pam Stack at Authors on Air Global Radio Network for supporting the show, for being a support and an outlet. There are so many amazing shows over on Authors on Air as well. I have a beautiful family over there. So if you enjoyed this podcast, there are so many over there that also are amazing podcasts that I would recommend. So go on over there. Each one has an amazing voice, amazing stories. They're some of my best friends, amazing interviewers, and we will see you next year, 2022, in January. Happy holidays, my beautiful friends. I'm sending you a lot of love from my home to yours with much gratitude for being a part of my journey. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of yours. Have a good night.